All right, this is about religious fanatics on YouTube, pretty much that have a stick up their ass about anybody that does anything to strengthen and better themselves, to give themselves some inner confidence, inner strength, and physical strength. That, of course, it's literally a threat to their imagined superiority, pretty much. All right, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video. And this is a video that's next on my list. People to make fun of and flip the bird, so to speak. These so-called Christians, unlike the ones that are actually pretty nice people, you get ones on YouTube that their whole life revolves around telling people that yoga is satanic and anything that you do from the core of your body and obtain a little strength and so you can walk around with your nose in the air and not be in awe and obedient to them. All of a sudden, they want to get on YouTube and act like just because they have a belief and are coming in the name of God that they run things. And anybody that develops any kind of inner or physical or inner strength of any kind, uh, bad news for them, because you're not psychologically or physically intimidated into believing their shit. And instead of addressing the things that are really going wrong in this world, you get some serious people that out there that'll, for no apparent reason, hurt you, or they want to rob you, harm you in different kind of ways. Bad shit that's going on in this world that morally, yeah, it's going down the toilet, but talk about some of that. But oh no, you get these ones that their whole life revolves around being on YouTube and getting GoFundMe and Patreon and PayPal on their YouTube account, and these dumb motherfuckers actually giving them money. And I vaguely remember there was one on YouTube. Somebody made a YouTube video talking about that you got to give him, you got to give me more money, or else I'm gonna have to work a job. And then somebody did a video talking about it, and the guy who runs a YouTube channel with his bullshit says, get off your high," he says, "Get off your high horse, get off your high horse," because the guy's telling the truth. But if these dumb motherfuckers want to keep giving them money, geez, yeah, there's people that actually just because it's of God, they'll go and hand some of these people money, these damn wannabes. But anyway, there is one out there that said, if you're doing Pilates, it's okay. Oh, okay. He believes anything, but still anything that done from the core, any kind of a way. In other words, you do it the hard way. But I actually preach, train, and I eat a lot of things that, despite what you visually see on some of my stuff, that I do out of spite, and I do just like a writer. I mean, my one of my English comp teachers when I was in college said a person writes with intention and deliberateness. So I do my stuff just like a writer, with intention and deliberateness, and literally out of spite. But I also consider it art. And I want to rebel against the over domesticated people with the yoga mats. And there's these people, a lot of the yoga people on there, no offense, I actually think they're wonderful people. And then there are some of them, the guys are looking at like perverts, have no respect for anything to better themselves. And the comments on there, I've done videos, I'll do another video addressing that. Which, and then I also want to say that you got these people out there that are bashing the Christian yoga courses that are out there. Well, I actually disagree with that, because there is a church, I don't want to be incorrect though too if I get the place wrong, but I think I looked on a website of this particular church, which is a wonderful church, a wonderful organization, because they have a ministry. They give fix and take recycle free bicycles and give free bicycles to kids and then older people. I mean, you need one to get to work, and you can volunteer for it if they don't even want people's money. I mean, I offered up, I liked enough to offer them up equipment, cans of WD-40 and tools, extra tools I had laying around. I'd ask them for an inner tube one time where I'm not to get it and I'm not somewhere close to getting into, but I think, I don't want to be incorrect, but I think I saw on the church website that the church they're affiliated with, they had a Christian yoga class, which there's nothing wrong with. You don't have to call it yoga, and you don't worship if you don't worship no other gods or any kind of stuff associated with what they saw. But I don't call my stuff yoga, but it's a mixture of some things. But I said, if you don't want to dress overly, tight clothes, like if you're a woman, there's like the longer shirts that looser fitting stuff, and don't have to be tight pants, looser tight pants. And I believe you should do everything in boots, because I'm advocating my thing. If you're doing some construction or industrial work, that there's a version of it that's actually good for you, and you can use gloves. So there's, I want to do it for truck drivers and construction workers and different kind of people that can be on the move, groundskeepers, that I think you need a little bit of it. If you want to make it partially paramilitary, you know what I mean? But if you're into biblical and historic things, I've found a lot of videos doing the whole ritual of the Zorkane, the whole details of it, that the Persian way, it seems to like it don't require you to be completely flexible, but I've borrowed from and retooled that. Mine's safer, unlike what you see, unlike what you're actually seeing me doing. I believe it or not, what I'm doing is actually based on the safer approach. How you start out is actually a safer approach. You actually want to be more flexible, but you can escape if you actually get stuck, so to speak. Based on the Persian Zorkane, they have a thing where they're using the press-up board. But me, I mix it with majorette baton and other kind of baton techniques where you can use gloves or bare hands. So my implement or sword also can be the press-up board. And then, they're doing bench pressing with wooden shields. That's all ritualistic. But supposedly they weren't always. I think it wasn't always that region that originally did it, the Indian Club. If you want to do some research, and there was some story about how they converted to Islam later. But it's a very easy platform to do a yoga or Pilates like thing off of, because I like it because you can, instead of going right into splits, like if you want to do a martial art, it offers you a better way to escape. If you go on the Persian push-up, you can go into with your feet. Don't commit to a split, and you don't have to be required to do a split like I do either. I mean, to get to what I'm doing, there's actually a safer beginning platform. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a wonderful, Zorkane is a wonderful thing to check out if you're into history, whether you read the Bible or don't, or if you're a History Channel kind of person. If you want to look at the medieval combat, like you want to, what the Romans may have did with shields and swords, and then the Persians, and just to have some fun. And if you're into medieval stuff and go to medieval conventions, you might want to play around with the Zorkane and make yourself some wooden shields and all that. And if you have shields and swords anyway, which mine's revolves around some medieval stuff too, a little bit of mixture, but yet some practical stuff. For a lot of reasons, which I don't want to overly brag about in this video right now, that I'm not going to be shy about, that if you have to put it this way. But yet at the same time, give people an innuendo, even in workplaces, that without actually doing anything, that you can walk around with your nose in the air and says, I don't give a shit if you heckle me or not, or whatever. Any of y'all, reasons why you can walk away somewhere and don't have to give a damn about being intimidated by anybody's heckling. Say if you're a Christian that's doing right, maybe you want a little bit of that in you. Or then things about economic collapse. If you watch things like Canadian Prepper on YouTube or other kind of prepper things, if you have a little bit of religion in you, not just having a gun. There's some other things you may actually need. You can be in the practice right now if you're doing some truck driver or construction work. You're out there and all that. But I addressed some things too, where if you don't sneak during lunchtime and do some things where people don't see, some people will tolerate it to a point. But if you have too much of an attitude, you're too outspoken, and you're not with the rest of the crew, they'll rat you out and they'll make what you're doing a safety issue and fire you for it or whatever too. Which, but I say, like, if what I'm basically saying that if you want to have some spiritual convictions and be for the purpose of being a conscientious objector, you don't want to drink or use narcotics too much, or you don't want to be on the bandwagon of the drugs they're legalizing now. If you don't want to be totally into that shit, and then I actually personally think now too, they ruined the marijuana thing. It was once listening to a little bit of Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and maybe the Doors, or maybe listen to Bob Marley and reggae and smoking pot now, and the hippies and all that. Now everybody has just ruined it, and it's going to turn into a thing where peer pressure, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty much peer pressure on steroids. People walking up all arrogant, even though you have drug tests at work, you get in that now, where stupid grown people, engaging in peer pressure, trying to ridicule you or heckle you in numbers. They want to get high, it's their business, but now it's like everybody else is going to be trying to be intimidated in it. There's a book called The BS Syndrome by Victor Salupa. Look it up. You can buy it on Amazon. It's still out there on Amazon.com, copies of it. It quotes that if you do something, one of my favorite quotes in the book, The BS Syndrome, is when you do something just because everybody else is doing it, you're being intimidated into it out of fear of not having friends and not being with the pack. And religion the same way, overly funded religion that goes the wrong path. I mean, isn't it any better if you're intimidated into it, or it's used to intimidate you out of something to make you a sheep? But then you got the far left, the extreme left, or the extreme right. You got some people will be in a religion for a lesser evil. They have friends there, and you like to sing in a choir. That's fine too. But then you got the extreme other side, the sheep on the other side. That's taught they hate the religious side because you're not allowed to get high, but yet at the same time you join them, you're another sheep. You got to do that. There's nowhere else to go but that. I mean, what the hell is up with that? You know what I mean? Then every single side, has something to say or wants to almost either be intimidating or heckling. One side would there's still an element where people are either passive aggressive, or you don't do enough of somebody's drugs, or you don't care about them. You can get beat up for that, or you presume you're going to badmouth the people that, like, in the religious side, they're bitching about things like yoga and everything else, and they should be talking about some of the other shit that's ruining this world, that's got a grip on the world and our governments and everything else too, But the laughable idea that these different people out there that have a stick up their ass about want to imagine everything that they don't like as demonic. It's ridiculous.
Wachen! Kommt und betet gestorben, mein Name, mein Leid, mein Reich, mein Wille, mein Fluch über mich und außer mir. Täglich hungert der Leib und dürstet die Seele. Ich ertrage die Schuld, ich ertrage die Beschuldigungen, denn ich bin in Versuchung und kenne keine Erlösung. Denn mein ist das Leid, die Wut und das Streben